Last Mandalorian, and welcome to NHL 17 Goalie School. So, the first thing I want to show you is my setup, how I see the game. Maybe this makes me look like a total fuckhead, but I use preferred down. For some, this might be a total WTF moment, but I'd say it gives me an advantage because I've never seen anyone else use it. And I agree with you guys, it would be horrible to use this like when playing versus or we're playing as a skater, but playing as a goalie, it really gives me the best angle to see the entire defensive zone. I also use dynamic high, but I'd say that any angle that's high enough for you to see the entire zone would work. So let's talk movement. As you don't see yourself at the start of a face-off with this angle, the first thing you want to do is switch camera focus to yourself. You do this by pushing the touchboard on your PlayStation 4 controller. When you see yourself, you want to back into the net, like placing yourself in the middle of the net at the far back. And you want to make this a habit because if you do this after every face-off at all times in a game, you always know where you are when the opposing team attacks. After placing yourself correctly, you want to switch camera focus back to the puck and keep it there. My style of play is all about moving carefully and knowing where to keep your eyes at. When the opponent attacks, you want to take like a small step forward, like so much that you can see it, but not that far out. The reason for this is you want to be able to cover the net sideways with small amounts of movement. After placing yourself correctly, you want to switch your eyesight to where the puck is, what your opponent is doing. Because like I said in my last video, I only play sixes, and the thing you gotta know about sixes is that people rarely go for the shot, not without looking for a cross crease, a one-timer, or trying to dangle their way to the net first. So at this point, you don't want to move much. Using your peripheral vision, you want to use small amounts of movement to keep yourself centered to the puck. Because what it comes down to really in sixes is that you don't want to sell yourself before you're absolutely certain that the shot is gonna come. And even then, you don't want to use big movements because, like, let me demonstrate with this one-timer opportunity. As I'm quite far into the net, I only need to move a couple of centimeters to glove it. And these are the saves you always want to be doing on one-timers, because quite honestly, it's the most effective way. Moving while standing up. Moving the right joystick or throwing yourself, that's just overdoing it. Like, the most important thing is to be in the right position to begin with, so you only have to move small amounts to save the one-timer. If you place yourself correctly, you're never that far off in position for facing the single shot either. If a forward fires a wrister or a slapper, you have to use your peripheral vision to make a judgment call. If you think that you're placed correctly, don't do anything. Leaving the goalie alone allows him to focus on the shot and maximize his reflexes. And if you feel that you're a bit out of position, you don't want to move right or left. You want to move towards the shot. Because moving right or left in this game while the shot arrives just makes the goalie flip his shit and go way too fast in the direction you're moving. This usually leads to cheap goals and annoyed team members because that goal is on you. I guess what I'm trying to say is like my style is pretty much about waiting out your opponent, making them make the first move. The next thing I'm gonna say might sound quite controversial to some goalies. It's about the butterfly stance, and I know that a lot of goalies use it successfully, but the thing I'm gonna tell you right now is that you don't want to use it. You don't want to go down in the butterfly stance. Like at all. Never, basically. No, I'm just kidding. There's two reasons for going down in the butterfly stance. The first is when a defenseman is loading a slapper on the point. No, scratch that. When they shoot wristers as well. Most of the shots from the point are gonna get blocked by your teammates. The shots that aren't run a very high chance of being deflected. And the most effective way to save a deflection is to be down in your butterfly stance already, or as I'm gonna cover in a future video, using the paddle down stance. The second reason for using the butterfly stance is when handling a rebound. Most of the regular shots in sixes is shot to force the rebound. After giving up a rebound, you want to go down in the butterfly stance. This way you don't only cover the ice, but you can also move faster if you hastily need to cover the other side of the net. But yeah, as a rule, you want to be standing up almost exclusively. Because playing as the butterfly player type, you're probably going to make the save on the low shots either way. Oh shit, I forgot to tell you that. The player type you want to choose, and yeah, no exceptions here, is the butterfly. Because the butterfly has the best reflexes, and this game is all about the reflexes. Basically what the reflexes does is that butterfly goalie is going to make saves that none of the other goalies are going to make. Like the only advantages the other player types have against butterfly is that they're faster and are better on the high shots. But we are countering that through our play style by only needing small amounts of movement and always standing up. So I have one more major thing to cover in this video, and it's about the mindset you need to have as a goalie. And to sum it down in like a rule or a sentence that you can come back to is the shot is always yours, but always be ready for the pass. And what I mean by that is like, if there's a normal shot in the rush, and you're out of position and you don't make the save and the goal goes right through you, it's always on you. Like, that's your responsibility. But as I taught you earlier, you want to be quite far into the net so that you're always ready to make the save on the cross crease or the one-timer. You're facing a 2-on-1. Your responsibility is the shooter. And like, if he's going for a shot by the post, which is quite popular, you don't want to cut it off until the last second, because you want to be ready if he makes the pass. You want to be placed like quite in the middle so that you have a chance to get over in time. And that's it for the basics. I still have some tricks to teach you though. I'll be going into how to face wraparounds, how to use the paddle stack, how to use the paddle down, and of course breakaways. So stay tuned for future videos. What I can tell you now about breakaway goals though is that they're never your fault, and you do have a right to scream at your defenseman.